Because you don't need to go through those stress, you know. Even making up, you are going through your life trying to think, how do we do this, you know, so you don't have time to stress yourself. So the dresser, the same thing with our camera people. If you give a cameraman, if you want a cameraman to shoot for you, what you should need is your script. If he takes your script, we see everything, because the person doing the screenplay has written the way they will shoot it. We tell you that this part, there'll be a kind of, there'll be a wide shot to be taken here. Here, there'll be a kind of overhead shot, an area shot to be taken here. Here, they need to do so and so shots. You know, light should come from this angle. So lots of scripts for different people. The cameraman has his script. The DOP has his script. DOP is the director of photography. He monitors the camera people. He has his own screen whereby all the cameras will be visible on that screen. Puts on his headset. Every other cameraman have their headset on as he's watching. Hey, come to, take a close-up shot. I don't want this. It's not seeing them physically. It's inside one room, monitoring everything. Camera 2, I want you to stop that thing you are doing. Your sound is bad. You understand? Because he watches to know how it will look like on the TV, on the screen. See? So that's how it works. Now, the author, as I said, is the God of them all. The author is the creator of the story. The author creates human beings. The author creates the people that will act in the story. The people that will perform the action and deliver lines in the story. The author creates the person that will speak in the poem. Do you understand? We see the author. The author is a living human being on our own world, on this earth. But we don't see the people in the story. You can't see them. If you want to see them, then enter the book. You can't touch them. All right? The villain is, the villain, should we say, which group should we put the villain? What? It's still general literary term. The villain, general literary term. Now, the villain is a very wicked character who derives pleasure in the torture of other characters, the suffering of other characters. That's a villain. A villain is just known for wickedness. A villain derives pleasure when people are going through torture. It's always happens when people are shedding tears. That's a villain. In most cases, I love villains. I like films. I like books that we have villains. It's really interesting. You know, watch them. You know. So the villain is a very, very, very wicked character that derives pleasure in the downfall of other characters, in the suffering of other characters. So we have the hero. The hero is the main male character in a story. The main male character in a story. The main male character in a story. The hero is this person. You know, you can read a book, you can watch a movie, you have the hero alongside the heroine. We have the hero alongside heroine. If you read August Wilson's book Fences, the hero is Troy Maxim. The heroine is Rose. You know, if you read Unexpected Joy at Dawn, we should say the hero is Nitake Ekronabi, Moses Nitake Ekronabi. Then the heroine should be Mama Sansi. You know, if you read The Joys of Motherhood, the hero should be Francis Obi. The heroine should be Ada Ophili that later turns to Adobe. So the hero is the main male character in a story. Chapter. Where should we put chapter? Chapter is a narrative term. It is the division for prose. Yeah? You divide prose into chapters. You divide chapters into paragraphs. Divide prose into chapters, divide chapters into paragraphs. Lots of paragraphs make a chapter. The bringing together of different paragraphs gives rise to chapter. Then we have prose. The prose is a narrative genre of literature. The prose is a narrative genre of literature whereby the author creates a narrator who acts on his behalf, whereby the author produces a narrator who serves as his mouthpiece. The author in a prose work does not talk, except in autobiography and memoir. Follow me. Autobiography, memoir, diary. That's when the author talks. In a diary, it is the author that is talking. You know that? The author is the one talking in a diary. In a memoir, the author talks. In an autobiography, the author talks. But in other forms of prose, the author is usually silent. He has written his book. The narrator will talk on his behalf. You understand? Narrator talks on his behalf. So the prose is a narrative genre of literature in which the author employs a narrator or a storyteller to pass his message to the reader. Is that clear? So the author that's prose. Then we have poetry. Poetry is this genre of literature that is presented in lines and stanza, of which words are blended with symbols and imageries. Do you understand? The author of poems is called a poet. And this poet, what does he do? This poet tries to bring words. He has words. But for these words to become poetic, they have to be blended with symbols and images to make them strong, to make them condensed. We've been saying it before that poetry is known for its condensed use of language. Have you seen that? Poetry is known for its condensed use of language. That is thick use of language. Poetry is not just watery like prose and drama. Poetry is known for its condensed use of language. Now, if poetry is condensed, to make it condensed, then the words must be blended with symbolisms, like symbols and imageries. If they are not like that, then there's nothing going on. It's no longer a poem. Cannot just tell story as if, it won't make, even the poems that are narrative in nature, check, we have lots of imageries in them. You see? We have lots of images. The man tries to tell the story of the 3 wise men. I went to visit Jesus Christ. Okay, he tries to let you understand that there is need for you to be determined in life. There's need for you to be dogged. There's need for you to decide that this thing, I must get this thing, I will not stop. I'm not going to stop. It makes you understand that if you want to live a comfortable life, then be determined to leave your comfort zone. If you want to live a life of comfort, then live a life of comfort. Do you understand? You want to live a life of comfort, then live a life of comfort. You see that? You want to LIVE a life of comfort, then LEAVE a life of comfort. Even Abraham, God asked him to live a life of comfort if he wants to live a comfortable life. You see that? So the poet, T. Eliot, is telling you want to become a big superstar in future, then forget about comfort for now. You want to become a big lawyer in future, you want to become a big doctor in future, then forget the life of comfort. They have to travel miles to look for the Savior, because they know that if they meet with the Savior, their life will be transformed. If they meet with him, that poet in the poem tries to let you understand that if you come in contact with Jesus, your life will be transformed. What did he say? A cold coming, we heard of it. Cold coming. That cold coming is a clear symbol of pain that you go through in life if you are pursuing your vision. Have you seen symbol? They're just the worst time of the year. The worst time of the year may be when things are not working out. People that will help you, they are all dead. Nothing is working. Just the worst time of the year for a journey. Some people try to gain admission in school. Their father died. Their mom is so sick. Things are not working. Just the worst time of the year to embark on a journey. The way is deep. The weather sharp. The very dead of winter. These are symbols. The poem may sound simple, but we have symbols and images clothed in it. That makes poetry poetry. Now you should agree with me that poems are divided into stanzas. And stanzas are further divided into lines. You see, the way we divide play into act and divide act into scene, that's how we divide prose into chapters and divide chapters into paragraphs. Poems are divided into stanzas, and stanzas are further divided into lines. Are you with me? So now, I've shown you examples of stanzas before. A stanza can be one line. It can be 2 lines, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines, 20 lines. Depends on the length of your poem. So now, the line is made up of a word or group of words. We will not say line is made up of a foot, because I can say Lord, but when will, not but when will all of, I did a poem like this some time ago. Lord, but when will all of these come to an end, for the world to see your boundless glory. To see your Someone can be so creative like this. The first line can be just one word. And this is not a foot, it's just a word. A foot must have 2 or 3 syllables. Is that clear? So this is not a foot, it's a word. So that means a line is made up of words. Do you understand? You may not use foot here, because if you say foot, a foot must have at least 2 syllables. Lord, line, this one has 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 words, 1 word, 2 word, 3 words, 4 words, 5 words, 6 words. Why did he do it like this? He has reason. This one now is not, if a poem look like this one, there's creativity, because it's trying to let you know that the issue is stretching forward. When will it come to an end? We keep seeing issues every time. Because of the character. Because here it's not refrain. It's not refrain. It's not chorus you sing in church. But chorus is character. It does not perform like other characters in a play. The chorus comes out to deliver some important things that the audience should know. Something like the epilogue, the prologue. You understand, introduction of song. They come out to sing. Maybe they sing, they lead a procession. But basically, they introduce scenes in plays. The chorus introduce scenes. They introduce scene, they speak the prologue, they give the epilogue as well. That's a chorus. You see, verbal irony. Verbal irony is used when the speaker says the opposite of what he means. The verbal irony is used when the speaker says the opposite of what he means. The verbal irony is used when the speaker says the opposite of what he means. Yes. When the speaker says the opposite of what he means, then verbal irony is used. Take note of that. The verbal irony is used when the speaker says the opposite of what he means. Now, sin. Sin, 2 meanings. The first meaning for sin, very popular one, is that the sin is the division of acts into bits. Use sin to indicate that this act is too long. Let's break it down. That's one. Then, plenty sin makes up an act. 1, 2, 3 sins make up an act. This sin is also the location. When a sin changes, when location changes, then sin must change. except the playwright is a quack playwright. If you are a good playwright, the scene, the moment the scene changes, it will be when the location changes, the scene must change. But I've seen plays whereby the location is changing, they'll still say it's scene one. It's not possible. If you come to this place, this is scene one. I go in there and the light shows me they're doing something. That's it. And if I shoot in a movie, I come back to this place, that's continuity of cinema. If the movement seems to continue, but the movement is not a continuous thing, then it will become straightforward. So it will change automatically. But the same dress, don't come here with this, drinking a bottle of something. I said, listen, I want to bring something. Let me show you what I really want to talk to you about. But we just bring this clothes, everything, and you enter here, and the camera shows you something from that scene too. You stay with yourself there, go to the kitchen, the camera is showing you that scene too. Come to that side, looking for the that scene. Come back here, that's continuity of scene. See, everything there. Is everything, because if it's affected, then they are not professionals doing the job. There will be problem. All right. We've seen situation whereby just some few minutes now, they put handcuff in somebody's hand. Person is like this. Nobody went to break it. Nobody broke the see that the person is using the handcuff, how do you have mistake? We've seen all those stuff. Continuity. It command issue. Maybe taking the first shots. DOP. Do you have the pic? No, that day as we were shooting, when the camera were everything wiped off. We don't need to start. We cannot start this job again from the beginning. We cannot start it. How can we get it? Yes. I can still get it, but not now. Okay. Still photographer. I did not snap that day. Okay, let's just believe. We pray it should be the green handcuff. Let's use the green one. Let's continue. Now we are watching this, and now they cannot go back to call those actors to shoot again. But you don't understand. They cannot go back to start it. Let's just shoot. You see, and that's bad. So the next one we'll be looking at climax. Climax is the highest point of conflict in the plot of the story. It is the highest point of conflict in the plot of a story. Climax is the highest point of conflict in the plot of a story. Don't forget that it is the highest point of conflict in the plot of a story. Yes, it is also called crisis point. The climax is also called crisis point. Crisis point. See this point. At this point, it is in fact the audience has taken it up to this place. The reader has taken it up to this place. There's nothing you can do again. At this point, you are confused. Why will all of this be happening? Why would they be punishing this person? What is going on? You start complaining. You start acting with them. You see, you are, in fact, you'll be saying, if I can just blow this man, you are just tired. That's climax. It's the highest point of conflict between the protagonist and the antagonist. You see, this is where the struggle gets to its peak. This is where people have been killed innocently. This is where people have been taken to a different kind of prison. Big torture here. At this point, there's catharsis coming out from the audience. That is shock and fear. There is pathos being observed by the audience. That is, you'll be showing pathos, you'll be pathetic, showing pity, sympathy based on what they are going through. This is where it comes in. You see? So the climax is the highest point of conflict. And I made you understand that climax is of two types. It can be for when you're discussing plot, or you're discussing figures of speech. You're doing figures of speech. The climax is a figure of speech used when items are arranged in a same order. When you arrange items from bottom to they keep moving gradually. That's climax. I think it still looks like plot, because in plot, before you get to climax, you start from bottom to the top. So I think it looks like the figure of speech as well. Oh boy. The next is tragedy. The next one is tragedy. Tragedy. A tragedy is a serious play which involves the downfall of the main character of himself. A tragedy is a serious play which involves the downfall of the main character caused by himself. A tragedy is a serious play which involves the downfall of the main character caused by himself, either through hubris or tragic flaw, meaning either through pride or mistake, all of which refer to them as amateur. You know, the hubris and the tragic flaw, they are all amateur. So when the pride of a character leads to his downfall, is called hubris, and the mistake of a character leads to his downfall is called tragic flaw. You see that? So the only place you can see things like this is in tragedy. Tragedy is a serious play performed by serious characters, in which main characters experience downfall caused by themselves. All the tragedies I've told you about, you see that we have what do you call it? Tragic heroes there, or tragic heroines. They are the cause of their own downfall. Yes, ranging from Madam Yoko to Adewale. So, as been this is a novel. I mean, this is a play. Woodrow Knight would have seen it as tragedy because it's a play. It's a work of art. So good. The work of art has some elements of tragedy, but by the major characters that have gone down, they cause the downfall by themselves. Then we have a tragic comedy. Tragic comedy. Tragic comedy is a type of drama that has some element of tragedy and some elements of comedy. That's a tragic comedy. It's a form of drama which has some elements of tragedy and some elements of comedy. Tragic comedy is a type of drama that has some elements of tragedy and some elements of comedy. That's a tragic comedy. You see, in a tragic comedy, the serious character acts the tragic scenes. The serious characters act the tragic part, while the unserious ones act the comic part. In a tragic comedy, the serious characters act the tragic part, while the unserious characters act the comic part. That's a tragic comedy. You know, we have this popular talk about it that a tragic comedy is partly joyful and partly sorrowful. Tragic comedy is partly joyful and partly sorrowful. Partly joyful and partly sorrowful. That's a tragic comedy. Partly joyful and partly sorrowful. And the next point we're looking at here is a play. Another word for drama is play. The person that writes plays is called a playwright. Now, the play is meant to be performed on stage before the audience. The play is meant to be performed on stage before the audience. The play becomes a play when it is being performed. When it has been performed, that's a play. It is a play because it involves performance and action. It's a play because people are getting set to watch what will happen. It's a play because there must be audience to watch it. You see, so a play involves a series of actions performed on stage for the audience. You understand? Play involves a series of actions performed on stage for the audience. That's drama as well. Just like that's two names. That's two names. Then comic relief. The comic relief is a technique. It's a technique that's used in tragedies. It's a technique that is used in tragedies. Yes. Comic relief is a technique that is used in tragedy. It is a very funny scene injected between two tragic scenes with purpose of easing the tension of the audience. They do it to just ease your attention with the purpose of easing the tension of the audience. That is comic relief. They do comic relief to make the audience feel relaxed a little. They've been going through, in fact, they've been going through pain because of all what has been happening in the story. So now, if you can inject comic relief into this play, it will make them relax a little. You know, the torture will not be too much. The comic relief lasts for some few minutes or seconds. After that time, we come back to reality. After that few seconds or few minutes, come back to reality. That's the idea. So, but comic relief helps a great deal. It helps. Then we have dead metaphor. Dead metaphor. The dead metaphor is any metaphor that has been overused. Dead metaphor is this metaphorical expression that has been overused. Yes, a metaphorical expression that has been overused is a dead metaphor. Metaphorical expression that has been overused is a dead metaphor. Yes, there are some of these cliches. Keep saying it before you know it has lost value. I kick the bucket. It's like the bucket. It has lost value. It's no more making sense if they speak it. The same way too. The same way. Life is a jungle. It's a dead metaphor to me. It has been overused. It's not catchy again when they speak it. You see it? So a dead metaphor is an overused metaphor. We have hyperbole. Hyperbole is a figure of exaggeration. It is a figure of speech used when there is an overstatement in a statement. When there is overstatement. Yes. Now, hyperbole, anybody that uses it is just trying to lay emphasis on a point. Just trying to emphasize a point. It's trying to emphasize a point. That is hyperbole. Anybody that uses hyperbole is trying to emphasize a point, to drive his point, to let people know that what I'm saying and I mean it. If you want to mean what you're saying, then maybe I can do that, then maybe it will work. You know? So most time we use hyperbole to express our thoughts, to really express our thoughts. That's when we use it. So that is hyperbole. Now we have make sure you compliment us to understand that compliment is not compliment. Mean that it is important. Plus, there's no communication that we get. So, you know that for like also always makes they have different ways they always fight, which is cute. When a harsh statement is better than a mild one. When a harsh statement is better than a mild one. Now look at everything. Yes. Sometimes Christians are not but they are saying that this man is a gentleman. Tell you that this man is a man of class job. That's what he does. That's what he does for you. That's not the job. Don't say that's my job. Or that's what he does for you. Come on. So you see an number next time, you don't say this man, say this is a gentleman on the way. That means an number. That's the very so we'll try to expose the ills in the society, expose them to mockery for correction to be made. Are you there? You expose them to mockery for correction to be made. That is what we mean when we say satire. In the course of this class, we've treated Talked about loads and loads of satellites, plenty. And if you check, at the end of that, at the end of everything, there will be changes. There will be changes. Next is foreshadow. Foreshadow can mean the opposite of flashback. But basically, foreshadow is a literary device used when the characters in the story try to live the future now. They try to live the future now. You know, they try to live the future now. How? They tell you what you'll be seeing what will be happening in the near future inside the story. You'll see what will happen in the near future inside the story. How does it happen? Sometimes in story, through dreams, acting that involves dream, to tell you what will happen in the future. You know, they will speak the future to you for you to see what will happen in the future. That is foreshadow. They take you forward. Yes. But take note, most foreshadows are symbols. Most foreshadows don't come out the way they're supposed to come out. So when they play involves foreshadow, they are using foreshadow to keep you, the audience, on suspense. They need to keep you on suspense because by the time you see, the mother will tell the child, my son, please, I had a dream, don't travel. Because if you travel, you may be killed. Now you are watching the movie. The son will come, Mama, see, those things are not real. They are not real. I want to travel. And he will travel. I bet you won't like to leave that place until you see the outcome of it. You understand? You want to see whether this boy will really die. Do you understand me? That is what we mean by foreshadow. So, on a good day, if you foreshadow, there's foreshadow in your work. That means you're telling the audience or readers, please still relax. Relax. Let's see if this foreshadow will come to pass. You see, then you relax, and probably they will show it. If not, they'll take it as sequel. They put it in the next movie that is coming up. You see, that is a sequel to this one you are just watching. Then, we have what we call meter. If there's anything you don't need to forget, it is meter. We've treated it, and we've treated it. So, you know, we said meter is a tool in poetry which we use to determine the number of feet. Is that clear? Since foot can determine the length of lines, meter will determine the number of feet that a particular line should hold. Is that clear? A particular line should hold. They use it to determine the number of feet, and of which I've told you, a line of poetry with 1 foot is monometer. 2 feet is diameter. 3 feet is triameter. 4 feet is tetrameter. A line of poetry with 5 feet is hexameter. 6 feet is heptameter. A line of poetry with 8 feet is nonameter. It's octameter rather. 9 feet is nonameter. 10 feet decameter. You see that? There's need for you to know them. There's need for you to know them. Next one is refrain. Okay, wait, I skipped this. All right, let's do refrain. Refrain is a poetic device which involves the retake or the repetition of a line either at the beginning or end of stanzas. Retake or repetition of a line. You keep repeating that line either at the beginning or the end of each stanza. That is repeat, that is refrain. Refrain is also used to calm the mind of the readers because most refrains are enjoyable. Then we have alliteration. Alliteration is a figurative device which is used when a part of something, it's a figurative device used when the same consonant sounds are repeated at the beginning of words in an expression. The same consonant sounds are repeated at the beginning of words in an expression. The same consonant sounds are repeated at the beginning of words in an expression. So when you repeat the same consonant sound at the beginning of words in a line of poetry, alliteration is in place. Yes. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. That is alliteration. And I gave you some example that since 1777, some stupid students started smoking cigarette. That is alliteration. You go over to assonance. Assonance is a figure of speech used. Assonance is used when the same vowel sounds are repeated in the middle of words in a statement. The same vowel sounds are repeated in the middle of words in a statement. Is that clear? That's assonance. The same vowel sounds are repeated in the middle of words in a statement. Assonance. Don't forget that one. Don't forget that one. Keep moving. Now talk about meter. We've talked about it. Then rhyme should be the next one. True of us. Rhyme is the resemblance of sound in lines of poetry. The correspondence of sound, the homogeneity, the look-alike of sounds in lines of poetry. Glory. The look-alike of sounds in lines of poetry. That is rhyme. There must be resemblance of sound. I've given you lots and lots of types of rhyme, ranging from the masculine rhyme to feminine rhyme to internal rhyme to end rhyme to opening rhyme. We even went as far as doing couplets rhyme. We've done alternate rhyme, and we've done I rhyme, which is no rhyme. We've done it. So now, look at scansion. I told you about scansion yesterday. And scansion is the way of indicating your stress and unstressed syllable. Still remember that? Indicating your stressed and unstressed syllable. You should know that the stressed syllable, indicate it with this. Unstressed syllable with this. That's how it works. So you have to understand how these things work. Understand how these things work. That's scansion. That is scansion. Use scansion to indicate your unstressed and stressed syllable in an expression. That is scansion. Then we have dirge. The dirge is a form of poetry used to mourn the dead, but in form of a song. It's a poem used to mourn the dead, but it must be musical in nature. It must appear in form of a song. Then you have epigram. An epigram is a short, witty statement. An epigram is a short statement that makes complete sense. An epigram is a short statement that makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. That is an epigram. A short statement that makes sense. That's an epigram. We have parody. Parody is a work of art done to done to mock someone, trying to correct what they believe in, trying to let them know that they are not saying the right thing. You understand? That's a parody. A work you do to let someone know that he does not know what he or she is doing. That's the idea. You try to correct them alongside you're mocking them. That is parody. So if you look at these terms, I'll be giving you some questions from our past questions here. Now, no, beg you not to get them wrong. Let's see if we can juggle this one out. Make sure you're answering. If you answer one, you have a point. Don't worry, today's on. Moment we are through the class, I have my stuff here. Okay, she's doing phase one kind of is a lie. That means we'll not do it again. Let's forget about it. Abi, let's forget it. Some of you have made money out of me. Let's just do 5. Although this time, since you will not be defining, maybe God can help you. Dear Father in heaven, help some people. Rubbish. What's that his name again? Here lies our sovereign Lord, the King. Whose words no man relies on. Never said a foolish thing. I never did the wise one. Let's do it fast. If we can, let's see how we can do 5 questions each. You pick number 1 to 20. We ask you your question. The owner of the question has chances to pick 2 options. The bonus goes to the next person. The main point is 3. Bonus is 1 point. Pick a number. Don't waste my time. You have started. Where was you when I was saying? He does not even know what we are doing. It's a bad pen and I was struggling to take it. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. It's an example of, now let's look at the law. Don't ask me, come again. Don't come again. Just saying it now. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. It's an example of hyperbole, litotes, euphemism, paradox. Very correct. Be talking well. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. Pick a number. Number 2. As chapter is to prose, so dash is to poetry. Couplet, stanza, line, chorus. Stanza, very correct. Pick a number fast. Number 6 has been taken. 4. A humorous scene in a play intended to ease tension is what? Climax. Tragic comedy, comic relief. Very correct. Pick a number. Number 7. Through the trees, I hear a single ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. They underline jingle and single. Through the trees, I will hear a single ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. The underlined illustrate dash rhyme. End rhyme, decasyllabic rhyme, internal rhyme, diameter. What? What are you saying? End rhyme is correct. They try to play with you. They write it as one line. But if you cut it into 2, you see that this is the same syllable. This one. Look at it. Let's play it. Through the trees, I'll hear a single, that's 8 syllable, ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. I don't know if you understand that. 8 here, 8 here. 8 syllables here. You cut the line, bring it down. Through the trees, I hear a single, watch, ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. Don't know if you see that we have 8 syllables in the first part. 8 syllables. If you bring the 2, 1 up, 1 down, you see that it's single and this one, jingle and this one. So it's end rhyme, AA. Pick a number. Pick a number. Number 9. Number 9 says, foreshadowing is a device used to do what? Listen well now. Don't tell me come again. Foreshadowing is a device used to do what? Prepare the reader for the direction a plot will take. B. Introduce the plot. C. Shed light on events through background information. D. Recall the past. C says, okay. C says, shed light on event through background information. It's not correct. Pick another one. You have another chance. A is correct. He said, prepare the reader for the direction a plot will take. As they showed you the future, they are preparing that this thing will come to pass. Or you don't understand. So The guy is moving. He wants to make the money. The winner takes it all. You hear me? If there is a tie, everything dies. Pick a number. Pick a number. Number 1. The protagonist is the dash. A. Author, villain, hero, speaker. No. The protagonist is the author, villain, hero, speaker. Hero is correct. Because it would have been the author, but it may not be an autobiography. They may not be talking about autobiography. So protagonist is not the author. Not all time you see him performing the story. All right, pick a number. Number 8. Number 8. A literary work is a satire when it dash. A. Finds faults. B. Humorously criticizes to improve a situation. C. Provokes laughter. D. Teaches a lesson for social improvement. Wrong. Finds fault. No. C. Let's see. Provokes laughter. No. If taken to bonus. What? She said, I said a literary device, a literary work is a satire when it does what? Finds fault. She has taken finds fault. Wrong. Humorously criticizes to improve a situation. She has not taken that. Provokes laughter. She took that. Wrong. Then D. Teaches a lesson for social improvement. Which one? B is correct. Humorously criticizes to improve a situation. That's satire. Satire must be done to improve a situation. Yes, pick your number now. Number 12. I believe you've read this. You're using this question to answer 12 and 13. I believe you've read this. Here lies our sovereign Lord the King, whose words no man relies on. He never said a foolish thing and never did a wise one. So let's see. Number 12 says, the extract is an example of dash, dirge, epigram, oxymoron, parody. Bonus to you. It's wasting our time. I can't come again. You lost the bonus. Never said a foolish thing. Then what happened? I never did a wise one. So that's parody. If it's oxymoron, then the two should be placed side by side, but no way. They didn't put antithesis. So pick a number. Number what? Number 14. Anyway, the time says we should stop, then we'll stop. A poem whose shape resembles the object described is called what? A. Emblematic poem, romantic poem. That is, the shape of the poem resembles the object. Emblematic poem, romantic poem, elegy, sonnet. Being described. Thank you. Emblematic poem. And you draw this mango with your pencil, and you write a poem about mango. and you erase the pencil. Are you following me? And you print it out. And they'll see the shape of mango. You understand? That's emblematic poem. In some cases, we call it concrete poem. The poem, the shape of the poem looks like what you are talking about. All right? So sweet, the taste of a mango is. Each time my mouth, I try to eat. You write it, then if they look at the poem, it looks like what you have written. That is emblematic poem. All right, pick a number. Number 11. The pattern of beats to denote movement in poetry is what? Refrain, meter, rhyme, scansion. No. Next one. Huh? D, scansion. No. Bonus. Meter is the finest at this time. All right, pick your question. Okay, pick your question. Fast. 13. 13 says, after reading the poem, the tone of the extract is one of what? The tone is one of what? A, anger, pity, sarcasm, indifference. Very correct, sarcasm. Fast, we're rounding off. 20. The attitude of an author towards the subject matter is what? Theme, tone, style, setting. No. Tone is correct. All right. Two more, then we'll close it. Pick fast. 19. Which of the following is not a type of play? Tragedy, tragic flaw, comedy, tragicomedy. Tragic flaw. Go. Pick. Huh? 18. A literary work that vividly portrays life can be described as realistic, romantic, idealistic, sarcastic. You want to lose the points? B, let's see. B is no answer, romantic. We have A, realistic, romantic, idealistic, sarcastic. Realistic is correct. Let's total everything. Winner takes it all. This God is not asleep. So he has a way of rewarding everybody. Okay, we'll see some other time. Trying to round off. See you after now.